Came to my office and she was really angry. Very intelligent young woman, very angry. And she said she'd become psychotic and she became fearful. She began to smash up all her furniture. She was afraid she might even do more, so she fled and lived on the streets for 2 weeks. And she found herself in the local psychiatric hospital. And after being there a couple of days, the psychiatrist came along and spent 10 minutes where he said, "You don't have schizophrenia. You have borderline personality disorder. We can't treat borderline personality disorder. You're out." So this intelligent young woman read the APA diagnostic manual. She read up thoroughly on the borderline personality disorder, and she read about schizophrenia, and she said to me, "I am schizophrenic. I am not borderline disorder."
What is that state that seems to have so many names?
Basically, it's a disorder of brain metabolism. It can be caused by an enormous variety of problems. To develop a schizophrenic picture, we do have what we call schizoaffective, where you can't make up your mind, is it manic depressive or is it schizophrenia? So we call it schizoaffective. We're not sure.
Have you ever heard of Dr. Bradford Weeks, who was speaking at this conference 2 weeks ago on orthomolecular nutrition? And he was wonderful. He was talking about learning to see your thoughts as temporary things that aren't you, as opposed to saying, "I'm paranoid." You go, "I'm having a paranoid thought." Now, the nature of thought is that it changes, so I'll just watch it and wait till it goes away.
One of the things I like to do is ask them, what do they think is going on? And they'll, of course, say, "I don't know." And I'll say, "Well, what do you think is going on?" They'll say, "Well, you're the doctor." And I'll say, "Well, what do you think is going on?" And they'll say, "Well," and they'll actually describe very clearly what their situation is. But the whole medical system and psychiatric system is not designed to really listen to the patients. Not designed to listen with the patients. It's really designed to diagnose, treat, and unfortunately this whole issue of stigma is just to get them out of sight.
Ian and his best friend Chris were talking about their past hospitalizations and their psychotic breakdowns and schizophrenia. Of course, for all my years in Montreal that I lived there, my father was an old-fashioned guy. Now, she's fine. Oh, she's a bit weird. She doesn't work. She's a bum. Oh, quiet. She's just a bit strange. And so I was sitting in this pub and I say, "Ian, please, there's people, the waitresses are going to hear us, and what are people going to think?" And but then I started meeting everybody seems to have schizophrenia.
When I was hospitalized, I saw a psychiatrist who was on top of all the latest research. He said, "Yes, it's the psychosis, it's biochemical. It was caused by non-specific stresses, emotional trauma," and basically what he was hinting at was that it was my parents' fault. My parents, thought about it for a couple of months and they decided no way.
It's exquisitely painful for a mother or a father to accept that they have a mentally defective child. They may want to help, but they don't understand. And they have a whole lot of fear.
Yeah.
And what do they do?
I think a lot of parents just feel their child is bad. He's being really bad.
On purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah. Can I just say something about parents? I mean, I've spoken to a lot of parents who have gone the traditional route with their children because they're intimidated. And I think it takes a lot of courage to actually take a child. It was courage for me to actually look for another method because I was given such flack by the traditional medical profession.
No psychiatrist, no reputable psychiatrist in 1998 would say schizophrenia or manic depression or severe clinical depression is not biochemical. They're not doing enough to tell each and every parent who walks through their doors, "Hey, it's not
your fault.
Your fault. It's not your kid's fault. It's not society's fault." When the bed came free, my parents talked to me, and for some reason I was in a quiet mood and I agreed to go. And then the radio was on. I heard Barbara from As It Happens saying, "What a docile little boy, what an image